Welcome back to Leak Detector Versus Series Part 2, guys. We have 3 more leak detectors that we're going to try out against 134A to see if we can find the leaks at about 125 PSI, maybe about 75, and then at 50 PSI. And we'll go as low as they can go. The first leak detector is the Testo 316-3. The second leak detector is the Navac NML1. And the third leak detector, quite possibly the cheapest feeling leak detector I've ever seen, is the Accutools EL520. We have the coil gassed up to about 125 PSI. So let's get leak searching. As I stated previously, all of these leak detectors will be set on high if they have a high and low function or the highest sensitivity they could possibly be set on. The first leak detector is going to be the Accutools EL520. Not a good sign so far. Let me clear it out and then come back. I'll walk back, let it draw for a second, and come back. Just to check, I'm going to perform a quick test over here on the top to make sure that it is working and can sense refrigerant. Okay. So it can sense refrigerant, it is just not sensing it at all. So far this one is kind of a bust. I'm going to let the room clear out just a little bit since I released some of the refrigerant vapor so it doesn't affect the rest of the test. Now we're going to go to the Navac leak detector and see how it does against this coil leak. The Navac has multiple sensitivities indicated by color, the highest sensitivity being red. As you can see, the Navac did find that leak. Let's go back in again. You can see it pop up again. Actually very definitive too. And there it is again. So the Navac did pretty well. There's a nice little bar graph right there that lights up as you get closer to the leak. So very nice. So the Navac gets a thumbs up for the first round. Now we're going to move on to the Testo. As you can see, the Testo is set on high. Definitely found the leak the first time through. Let's go in there again. Testo did it again, so Testo has found the leak as well. Now let's move on to the next round. We now have a coil pressure of around 80 to 85 PSI. This is round 2, and our Navac is going to go first. The Navac did locate the leak at around 84, 85 PSI. Let's try it one more time. The Navac has located the leak, so it passes this test. We're going to move on to round 3 with the Navac, and here comes the Testo 316-3. Found that one really easy. Yep. The Testo passes the test with flying colors set on high sensitivity. We're going to move that pressure down to 50 PSI for round 3. We've now dropped the pressure in the coil down to just above 50 PSI. We're going to take the Navac unit in there first to see if it can pick up the leak. The Navac is picking up the leak a little bit here. We had a little bit of a, what I would call confirmation on the last one, a strong tone. The Navac is finding it a little bit, not as strong as before obviously, but it is still finding this leak, toning out a little bit. So that's a relatively good job and a surprise from the Navac. I'm going to tell you, I thought it was going to be kind of crappy, but it's not. Now we have the Testo 316-3. It did find the leak. Let me go back in again. It found a leak again. Testo 316-3 is looking good. And it's still locating the leak. Very nice performance from the Testo 316-3 on 134A. So which leak detector is our winner? Well, I think judging this performance was relatively easy this time because our strongest leak detector in this particular round was the Testo 316-3. It picked up the 134A at 125 psi, 80 psi, and 50 psi. I was really impressed with this leak detector. It's going to move on to the next round, and I'm going to tell you something. I was pretty stunned by this one too. The Accutools EL520, I don't know how it's going to be on R22, but it did a poor job on this particular refrigerant, 134A. So I definitely would not recommend this. A lot of our other leak detectors picked up something. This actually didn't pick up anything unless I unscrewed the cap on our service gauge and let some of the refrigerant out. So a little bit of a disappointment here, but a nice strong showing from the Testo 316-3.